Man, I didn't even turn the light on over my head and it's still this lit up. That's so crazy. Usually I turn on more lights, but I just had the light ring on and I was setting it up and I hadn't turned the lights on yet. And I was like, I don't even need to turn them on. But anyways, so yesterday, Allison Coe posted. She hadn't posted in a long time. And so I watched, I was so excited. So I watched or listened to it. You don't have to watch it because it's just audio. But I would recommend anybody to go in and listen to it for sure. To me, I got so much confirmation. I couldn't even believe it. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of this stuff because I was already talking about it already. And then she went and did that and it was like, oh my gosh. I was sitting there thinking like, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And then this person said all this confirmation. So anyways, I would say go in and watch that. Also today, David Wilcock is going to go live. I'm not sure what time. I just set the reminder. But if you look on his, so Allison Coe, her last name is C-O-E. And then Allison, just regular. And then David Wilcock, his is W-I-L-C-O-K, C-O-C-K, I think. I don't think it's Will Cox with an X, but you can find him. You'll know it's him. He's got, like, usually his hair's pretty crazy. So, but he's going to go live today. And if you haven't ever watched him, I would say you're in for a treat. But if you have watched him, then you'll know he always has good information. And I think today he's going to talk about the solar flash. I'm not sure. So we'll see. But there was some interesting things though with Allison Coe that I was so excited about. So when I was talking about, you know, I keep saying like, I think it's a bunch of different realities. I don't think it's just one reality of this space. And so she is talking to this woman who she talks about souls as like builders, creators, and you know, like there's ones that come in to seed a planet. And that's kind of what is happening right now. These souls that like me, we're seeding the new space, the new world by developing it, by talking about it, by creating it through our vision, passing our vision on so other people also create a vision. And what's so interesting too, okay, so she said, like right now there's ripples. There keeps being ripples in our reality. And that is where people are, let me see if I gotta get it all straight. So there's ripples being created by people waking up and realizing that things aren't what we think they are. So we are creating these ripples, but they keep so you know how I talked about this is a giant hologram. Everything is a giant hologram. We are projected into this reality that is really, it's all an illusion. It's all an image. But it is so much more complex than what we think of because, you know, we have science showing us as these people who create science are not the level of nature. They are nowhere near it. So this hologram that we're in, I mean, you know, you can just see like it's so real. Everything is so real. So this, and it is what we expect. It's what we see. So when you go in and you have like your soul family, and she was talking about too, that these times like, you know, the Lemurian or the Roman or all these different times are just like encapsulated moments. They are realities. It isn't so like what I kept saying. I don't think it's all connected. I think it's just different ones. And I don't know how or whatever, you know, these people here who are trying to be the rulers, you know, they try and use certain things to create a history for us, but it's only a manipulation. And nothing ever made sense. Like if you were ever questioning, when they were sitting there telling, I mean, I don't even know how old I was when I started hearing about the pyramids. And I mean, I knew that aliens, what we called aliens, were always here. That I don't know. I don't go off on that again. But anyways, so this, so you are with your soul group and you guys decide on something you want to come here and learn about. And you set up the whole thing. Everybody's got their role. Like you write the whole play. You all determine what roles you're going to play. And then you are projected into a reality. The reality is also of your choosing. So it's like, I kind of see like a board game, and you have your parts or your people or whatever, and then you choose what game you're going to go into. So, you're going to go into Candyland, or you're going to go into, whatever the different things. So like New York City has been a destination for soul experience for a long time. And so the souls have a certain way that they define the idea of New York City. So they go in and they have an image that they create for the time and space. And then there are people in control of the illusion that go in and kind of fill it in. They take care of the hologram, the stage, the people who set the stage for us. There's beings that they would also go in and have incarnations and experiences. They don't just do that, but they do that. Like they do have a role. But you could also play that role. So, you could have a deeper understanding of this holographic world or something than somebody else. And like she was saying, it doesn't matter if you think the earth is a globe or flat or whatever it is, whatever you believe it is. And that's what I kept saying. It is whatever you believe, because it's a reality that we're creating. And so she was saying a reason why that they're having to try and keep putting it back together, this reality, as we're seeing it kind of crumble, as we're noticing like, wait a minute, this is weird. Wait a minute, this is weird. This makes no sense. Like it's all kind of imploding on itself. But she said if it went down, like the hologram just went down, if everything just stopped and we were all just our souls sitting here, she said we would find ourselves in the void. Everything is just a void of darkness. And that's what gives the idea of space. And when I kept saying, like, as my eyes are getting worse and I have these periods of time where I can't see the image, the hologram, but I see past it, and it always is like this, I say it's like a void, but it's like a honeycomb. Like it isn't just like black. It is like densities. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like different darknesses. It's like a honeycomb is what it looks like to me. And then these blocks of color are everywhere. That's what makes the image up. That's what a rainbow is when we see the reflection of these blocks of color. So everything is projected through this vibratory color. And then we create our own beings in this to have this experience. But the whole holographic world is also a part of that. Like you could project yourself into anywhere you want to go, the Pleiades, whatever. And then she was talking about there's so many of us right now who are from different places. Like I kept saying, I know I'm not from here. I know I'm from other places, but that doesn't mean I feel like I did lives, but in other ages. I'm not presently in this space. I've been someplace different. And she was talking about there's so many souls that are like that, and that they're all waking up, but they're waking up to who they actually are. Like they're starting to have a deeper understanding that they're from somewhere else, but they're here on a mission. They're doing whatever it is that they are motivated to do. And, that is a part of the awakening. It's not just awakening to this reality. It's awakening to who you are and what you're doing here and why you're here and what this all means for you, for your soul. And so, and a lot of us are here to help people. So she was saying, so there's this space of gray that we're headed to. And those of us who see the new world, like I kept saying that there's certain that we are creating this new world. And so there's a lot of us and we're waking up to this understanding, but there can be a lot of different creations of this new age. So just as we are on this planet and all these continents are different realities, different experiences. Like if you get birthed into Syria or Africa or any other place is going to be a different experience from the other ones. So see, that's what I'm saying. It's all like planets. It's all realities. Just because we think we share a space called Earth doesn't mean we're not separate realities. I think that has become so clear to me through some of this stuff. But so we are creating this new world. But she said it's not it's not really fleshed out yet. Like people are just starting to really envision it. And she said that people are envisioning like crazy colors and, like rainbow or like waterfalls can come out of clouds and stuff like that. But it's just now becoming in development. And so the builders, when this hologram goes down, so this would be the gray, this gray cloudy kind of place that she's saying that we're headed towards. And this is the split. And so we are in this reality and we're waking up. And another thing she said that there's a lot of people who will just continue like what I was saying with my neighbors. I started talking quiet, because I don't want to talk. I'm not ever trying to talk bad about somebody or be mean or judgmental on somebody. I'm just talking about these different realities, but how they just seem very, okay with living their 3D life and, not questioning things and just this reality that they're living in with their kids and what they're going through and what they're going up against. There's all this purpose in what you learn all the time. So she said there's going to be lots of people that just continue their 3D life, just continue living the way they've been living. But she said it's going to become more and more empty, more and more mechanical, more and more where it's just like a robot doing its thing. It's not getting the same kind of feelings that it used to get from it. So there's going to be a lot of people who will just continue that, but they're going to start to question it more. So in this gray ripple, so there's people who are like me and that are very focused on healing and raising their vibration and the new earth and all that. But that comes from inside. It's not like somebody just told me about this and all of a sudden I was like, oh, no, I'm going to join that team. No, it comes from inside. That's why I keep saying, don't focus on what's inside of you, because that's what you're here to learn about. And everybody has different things that they're here learning about. But so the people who are like me, who are focused on this new earth and healing and stuff like that, that we are, we're the builders of it. We are the creators of it. It's our vision that will put this into reality. And there will be a lot of different realities. So there won't just be one vision. And that's why I kept saying all the way back it's going to be a lot of different realities, a lot of different kind of communities. That's what I kept calling them, a lot of different communities. But the communities would be their own separate reality because it's going to be like-minded people that come together. And she was talking about it's going to be people who have like-minded vision that will create certain realities, and then they will go in and experience those realities. And so the guy who was saying about the technology and science merge, then there will be communities that are like that. And then there'll be communities like where I'm saying, where it's just, living free and being in communion with nature, being in communion, like, you have your little piece of land and you go out and work it, not because it's a job, but because it's part of who you are, part of the communion with the earth, that you work with it and it provides for you, kind of like that. I know a lot of my ways that I see is something to do with the life that I lived as a Native American. And I get so many visions of it. And I know that I was here during this time, which, I don't know that the time was in this period. It could have been at any period. But I think it has to do with this age because of the full circle. So I think it was more in the beginning of this age or something. But when they took the land away from the Indians, but the Indians all lived kind of a more spiritual existence in this, it was kind of like a mutual respect. It's not like that they didn't fight. Tribes did fight. There was warring tribes. There was, nomadic. There was different ones. But there's a philosophy, that the spiritual philosophy that came from that time. And I know that I have that. It's like it's in my DNA. It's like, and I get these visions and stuff of it. So I know it's part of what I'm here to do full circle. So I know that this strong feeling of mine of being a part of nature and the spirit world is coming from that philosophy. And then plus I know that I'm somewhere back from Atlantis, because I knew about that stuff when I was a little kid, and I didn't even know what Atlantis was, but I knew I wanted to go back there. I knew it was real. So I don't know, and then I know, like, I was back there at this time period, or in that time where they were doing the pyramids, where we were interacting with aliens. That's why I feel like I know it to my core, because I was a part of it. So I don't question it, because it's inside of me. So there's certain things that are, coming alive or coming awake inside of us as we awaken to understand, and to understand our role and what we're here to do. But I know for mine, it has to do with this communion with nature and spirituality and understanding who and what we are, and being in the experience so that we can, if you're in the experience and you go into communion with nature, you're in with so much energy with the land, the trees, the birds, everything that is natural. So to me, there's going to be a lot of that. I don't sit and think about like the trees becoming red, or the grass becoming yellow or something like that. I love the colors that there are. I love it when, like, it's just raining and raining and raining, but it always looks like a rainforest, like dinosaurs are going to come walking through. I love how that looks. I love being outside with the wind and hearing it go through the palm trees and stuff. There's so much beauty in nature that I don't want to have to change it into, streams of purple or whatever. I think having that natural sheen to things will add a lot of beauty. I think that there's a lot of stuff being blocked and manipulated here and stuff. And I think that they are out to kill all of nature, just like they're out to destroy us. They're just toxic. They're like a disease. So in this gray space, she said that we're coming to quickly, this space and time. So for So in this, as this reality, as this hologram is starting to end, you know, we have to be focusing on what it is we want and what it is that we desire. Just like what I was saying yesterday, I think it's super important for us to keep focusing on our vision of what we want for ourselves and what we want for the future of humanity and the planet. Don't get caught up in their threats. You know, there's not going to be enough food. There's not going to be enough of this. Just don't get caught up in their BS, because they are trying to harness our energy to create these things. And we have to keep pulling free from that. So she was saying we're coming to this gray, cloudy kind of space. And it is the people who are really caught in the 3D. Some of them will continue to just stay in that 3D. And some are going to change at the last minute. But then there's a lot like me who know, no, we're headed somewhere else. That's what we're here for. We're here to, you know, gather more people on the train. We're headed somewhere else. And so those of us who are defined knowing what we're here for and what we're going to, that we're set. But there's a whole space of people who are just confused, don't really know. And they're going to decide right at the end. And she said there's going to be a whole huge amount that's going to decide right as shit is going down. Because everybody gets to make a decision for themselves. I mean, that's why I keep saying is right now, the way they have people manipulated, people aren't getting to make a decision for themselves. It's not a true decision for themselves. It's not truly free will if you're manipulating them and they don't have the truth behind it. So more and more truth is going to keep unfolding. More and more is going to keep becoming in each person, as each person is living their own existence. So different things are going to wake up different people. Like I keep saying, like I keep noticing the different things that are waking people up and the different things that they are attaching to as being, you know, not okay. So that is going to keep going like that. And we're going to get to this space where it is, has to change. And she said that she again said this about the ships coming in to take the people. And she said there's going to be a lot of spaceships. And there's also going to be a lot of ocean ships, like ships that look like they, you know, like the kind that used to, when they were going out and going to the different continents, you know, like discovering America or whatever, those kinds of old ships, like when the people used to travel before, there's going to be a lot of those. And she said that there will be so much confusion. But when those people are on that kind of ship, they won't be as confused as if they're on a spaceship. Not everybody could handle the spaceship. Some of them are going to be on that other kind, and they're just going to be told that there was an accident and they're on a ship and they're safe and they're headed to a new location. So I don't know, you know, the space between realities, you know, if this hologram is going to go down and the new ones are going to start coming on. But she was like, you know, they have to keep this one going right now, even though we're all questioning it, because it's us that kept it alive. We were the ones, our vision. And then as we are waking up to this artificial world and questioning our reality is causing the ripples. So it's causing it to fall apart. But it can't go too fast because there's nothing there. We have to start to create the new one. And so I don't know about the ship thing, and I know it has to do with the higher vibration. It is definitely going to be a higher vibration. It's going to be the age of Aquarius, this new age that we are creating. It will be for people who are healed or wanting to heal. It's going to be completely different. It's not going to be like this. It's going to be very, very different from the age that we're currently living. And it's going to be so much about freedom. But see, we're all learning how significant freedom is. We're all learning that we can't have it out of balance with abundance. You know, there needs to be abundance available for every living creature on this planet. And so, you know, we're creating that. But it's our questioning it. It's our seeing the problems And then we start creating in our heads. So we're creating this new world. And so these builders, she said they like fill in the blanks. Like we create, it would have mountains and this beautiful blue sky and, all of the things that we imagine. But then they go in and she said they just like for stage managers, they create the place, they create the reality by putting it all together. So it's really is all coming from our consciousness. Like if everything stopped, we would be in empty space. We would just be thoughts in empty space. So if you can really wrap your head around how significant, how much of a master you are of reality when you realize that you are creating everything for yourself. It's not just your attitude and how you look at the world, that which is a creation of what you believe you deserve and what you're there to experience. So that has a big impact. But it's everything in this reality is created by us. When we and there's so many of us who are ready for this new creation to evolve. And, and we have to be a part of this one disintegrating. But no matter what, there's something that's coming in close. There's something coming in hot for us that is going to be the change. It's going to, be the nail in the coffin on this reality. And it's going to cease to exist like all of them. But that doesn't mean that the new earth won't be similar to the old earth, because we are the creators. So there's a lot of our creation that we would be taking, but the earth is only it's only an energy. It isn't a true place. Nothing is a true place, just like we're not a true person. It is all of this illusion that it's all part of them trying to keep us in our energy trapped in this in the reality that they create, to keep you focused and chasing your tail and giving up on other aspects of life. It's all been this virtual trap for a long, long time. Not just that now they're going the next step. That's just part of their progress. But it has always been a trap of their reality that they created to keep us in their enslavement so that they can profit off of us. But it is, we have to break free from it. We have to recognize we want something different. And that's what is crashing their reality down, is just our desires for wanting something different. That's why I was saying the other day, like if we all just went in and meditated on a certain thing, our energy would make such change. But see, people have to learn. People have to understand who and what they are. They've been so beat down for so long. They really think that they can die. They don't realize they're eternal. They don't realize they're just here experiencing, and how really magical this is, and how really magical that we are individually. Like it is, it really is beyond comprehension. And it is, I think it's super exciting. Like I keep saying, the more that opens up to what this world really is, it's scary on one hand, because when you think about, like, you have such an attachment to your avatar, but then you think like, well, if it doesn't even exist, then who and what am I? But that is the question that starts it all. It's the beginning of everything. Is who and what am I? That is when, if you watch the initiation with Matthias DeStefano, he was saying that when you go through the different ideas of dimensions, the different spaces of high vibration that you can reach, that there is a point where it's just the void. There's just empty space. There's nothing there except for your soul. And it's no judgment, no anger, nothing. And it is in that space is where we ask ourselves, who and what am I? And that sends you into this whole process of going in and incarnating so that you can go in and witness who and what you are, how you behave to people, what you bring to the table. It's a witnessing of self. That is the projection that you are so that you can see yourself clearly for who you are in this three-dimensional little playhouse, acting out scenario. But I do think in this ascension time, this connection with your higher self, or with each of us with our higher self. When she was talking about something with that, there was so much stuff that she said in that was giving me confirmation over things that I said. I was just blowing my mind. I was so excited. My eyes hurt so bad yesterday. I had this headache, and it went all through my eyes. I couldn't move my head. My neck was hurting, and they had that turned up so loud yesterday. So when I listened to it last night, I was so excited. I wanted to go in and record right then. And I was like, no, I need to just tell people, you need to go in and listen to this for yourself. I don't want to, steer you in any direction. Everybody needs to find their own truth, because everybody's truth is so independent. I was even thinking about, there's some people who have made comments, especially on the TikTok thing, and something about, I get told that I'm negative or whatever because I'm talking about things that are going on around us, which I think is a part of the awakening, is to understand the reality you're in so that you can go, hey, this isn't for me. I don't like this. I don't want this. I don't want to be poisoned. I don't want to live like this. That is up to all of us to recognize it and say, I don't want this. I want something more. That's why I keep saying you got to focus on what the more is you want. Focus on your best timeline. What is your best outcome for self? Focus on those kinds of things, because we are the creators of our timeline. And your timeline is there to teach you whatever you're there to learn. But so if our higher self is in this, and we become we become in union with our higher self, like we tap into our higher self. And like I said, there's so much where I'm talking, it's not even what I would have considered to be Kelly before. It's coming from outside of me. And it's the connection between the higher self and the avatar is what I see it as. And so in the, I think that it's part of this evolving, part of this evolution, because soul's energy, consciousness, because it's all about energy. And there's all sorts of energy, but not all energy becomes consciously aware. And that is what we are doing right here in this process. We're becoming consciously aware. So we're becoming the creators of our own existence. So that is, to me, it's like I'm a part of my my higher self. I can recognize that I am a part of that, but also that I am my own unique being. And like when the people were saying, like, well, you shouldn't say that, people have to, what was it? It was something really specific. People just need to focus on positive. They just need to focus on positive. And maybe they meant something like focus on your best timeline or something, and I didn't take it the way that they meant it because we weren't in alignment. I wasn't understanding what they were saying. But don't worry about, you don't have to force what somebody else is, you don't have to force yourself to understand what somebody else is saying, because you'll understand what someone is saying when you're supposed to understand it. And, you could be learning something and, maybe somebody told you something and you're like, okay, well, that doesn't make any sense to me, but, I'm just going to go about my life. And then weeks or months later, all of a sudden something happens and it's like, oh, now I see. But see, you had to go through that process to learn it. So you don't have to try and learn it because they just learned it, because they're probably just learning things that you learned months ago. It's just this, it's just the way it goes. We're all learning different things, and you don't have to learn it just because somebody said it. It's planting seeds. We're just planting seeds for each other so that the information's in there, and then when it stuff plays out, it will show you. It will become a part of your experience, so you don't have to try and force understanding. Understanding becomes a part of who you are. So to me, yeah, right now is, all of this stuff is going to be ending. I don't know how they keep dragging it out, like I've said, but I do think that there's going to be some kind of a awakening, some kind of a big thing that's going to awaken people. And then there's something that is going to be coming behind, It is our awakening sends out that a huge ripple into this reality. And then that, I think, is like what we think of as like this pulse by the sun, the event. That's what it's called, this solar event that is supposed to happen. But it is a part of this universe. It's a part of this reality imploding on itself. It's explosion to evolve. And I would think that is when we have to be in these ships for this explosion. But there's also a thing about certain beings that are going to be high enough vibration they wouldn't need to be in any kind of ship at all. And I've heard things about some of the people, depending on your vibration, you have to go where you vibrate. So if you are a certain vibration that is not evolved, then you will go to another planetary system or another existence, another reality, whatever you want to call it, so that you can continue that evolution of this vibration raising kind of situation. But for those of us who have been working on this, and we understand, like, we're the seeders, the builders, the creators of this new world, and it's part of our vision that is creating this world. And there's going to be so many new realities for us to experience. There's going to be so much for us to go out and explore in this new world. I'm just super excited about it. I think it's really, really cool when she's saying that there's going to be a whole bunch of different realities. It's not going to just be one set reality. There's going to be multiple, just like there has been all along in this world. So anyways, today I'm definitely going to watch the David Wilcock thing, and I would totally recommend going in. And I think I've listened to all of her Allison Co. Because she does the QHHT, and then she used to go in and read a lot of them until people were attacking her, and then she was like, I'm not going to deal with that. But this one that she did yesterday, I thought was really good, and so I would totally recommend it. But any of them, I would say go in and listen to them, because it really, it really opens up things in your mind that maybe, you just haven't had them opened yet. Because that's what all of this is about. This is an opening of everything about us. This is an understanding, an evolution. This is it's a super exciting time. That's what I know. This is really exciting. And there's a reason why there's so many of us who are becoming on the same wavelength, that we're headed for this same kind of world existence. We have the same vision, and we are going to be going into, soul groups are going to be going in and creating these visions. And it isn't just going to be like we have to go in and actually, saw it and build it and stuff like that. The more that we use our comprehensive reality structuring, like in our minds, as long as we can keep that vision and we keep envisioning it, we are creating it. Just like all of the trauma that's going on right now, people are creating that trauma, but that trauma has to be created so they can separate from this reality, because it's time for this reality to end. And so I still think, I think we're close. I mean, I know there's a lot of people think, oh, this is going to go on for forever, this is the apocalypse and stuff like that. I just don't see it like that. And I see it as that we are moving quickly into a huge change. And this isn't, decades away. I think that we're really close. I mean, I don't know. For me, this has almost been a decade since I started hearing about this stuff. So, to me, I say, time has already been plenty long for me. But I see other people have to still go through it and experience so that they can release it. And I just got to be patient. But I can also use my energy to focus on the new world and what I want to be a part of that is created there. And to me, I just want it to go back to like peaceful communities. Back when I was a kid in the 50s and 60s, in the 60s and 70s, when people could leave their doors unlocked and people trusted each other and they built community. And, I thought my parents were ignoring us, but really they were building community. They were building relationships with other parents. And, when you went out to the store, there was always other parents watching you. We may not have had so much of our parents right on us all the time, but we had every parent in the neighborhood who knew what we were doing. So even if we didn't know these people, they knew who we were. So there was a significance to parents developing relationships with their other parents while they're raising kids. And we did, as kids, have a lot of freedom to go out and explore. And we were always, there were so many times that any of us could have been hurt or killed. I'm sure that there was people. But that is, a soul is fearless. A soul is not fear death. Death is just the transition. So, I think that a lot of souls, they look forward to it. Even when people in the NDEs, when they pass over, they beg to stay. They don't want to come back. They just usually have to come back because they didn't complete their mission. If they didn't come back, we wouldn't hear about it. So, but, they come back because they have to continue to complete. But most people are like, hell no, I won't go back there. That's hard. I want to stay here where I feel love. So don't fear death, and I know it's a lot harder when it's people who we love leaving us. That's the hard part, but we just have to remember that those souls are going to be, that when they say this about the souls that are leaving are already going and preparing this new reality. This is a big thing that is happening, for souls. This is really huge. This is a huge transition that's happening, and it's super exciting. And we have, we have a lot of great things in our future. So I say, try and focus on the future and what you want out of this new world. But if your soul is telling you, focus on this, focus on that, then you got to focus on that. That's what you're here to learn. Don't just listen to somebody like me, saying, oh, no, don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. No, follow your guidance. Tune into your guidance. Follow your guidance, because things will unfold to teach you what you need to know. Not what anybody else needs to know, just what you came here to learn. So anyways, I might be back. I might record after I listen to David. But I don't know. Sometimes he talks like 3 or 4 hours. He's long-winded, but he's super, super interesting. He is like a wealth of information. The guy, he can remember so much stuff. Like, his memory is really good. He is really smart. So, but there's a lot of people who don't like him at all. But I swear to God, you can't. I saw this morning, there's a guy who has a spiritual channel, and he always does little clips. I've shared his little clips before. I think it's called Insights or something. I can't think of it now. I can picture it, but I can't think of what it's called. And he was even saying that him and his wife are getting attacked by people that they're calling them, that they're part of the cabal. And, people have gotten themselves really paranoid about, everything, you know. I mean, there's so much stuff, Elon, people arguing about, you know, well, he did this, well, he did that, you know, he's not a good guy, he's not a bad, you know, back and forth, back and forth. I don't know that it really matters in our lives. I'm not going to follow him. If he said, go do this or go do that, I'm not going to go and do it. You know, we have to just release some of this stuff. Who cares? But this guy was talking this morning. He was talking about the breast milk and what they're doing to try and, you know, lab create it. And that's just more absurdity. So it's more stuff for people to go, hey, no, that's not good. But it gets the conversation going, how important it is to nurse. Like, you know, there's more to it than just the fluid coming out of you. He was even talking about, he had read some books. I can't remember the name of the books now, but it was a German author, I think. But he was saying that when a mom is breastfeeding, she is giving more information. It's not just the food. There's like a transference of information and insights that go into a child. But it would make sense, be a part of this birthing process, part of the process for a soul to come into and experience. So anyways, there's just, there's so much fascinating stuff. I think it's really exciting and it's so interesting to talk about. And, you know, I'm gonna really spend time considering this beautiful new world that we are going to be inhabiting soon. So, and it can't be soon enough. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.